welcome back. I'm just mixing up some resin. I'll put the catalyst in. So welcome back to Dave Life. Life of Dave, all the things I do. Right, get some resin up here. So the mat I'm using is a woven roving, which is quite a heavy stuff. So it's quite hard to get to stay upside down because of the weight of it. It tries to pull itself down. It's got a CSM backing on it, which is chopped strand matting. And then the other side of it's weaved, so it's all interwoven. Really strong stuff. But what it enables me to do is get effectively a few layers of glass on in one. So I've got all this already cut out. As you can see, it's got the chopped strand matting on this side, and on that side it's woven. Cut it at the front. I might have to make a couple of little snips into this corner, and then we should be good to go. It's really hard initially getting this stuff to just stick up. You've got to put a fair bit of resin up. This one's actually come up a bit shorter than the other side. I was struggling to plan it all out, holding the bits up. Yeah, I'll cut it a little bit short on this one, but never mind, we can infill. Right, so we can get that up there quick, and then get some resin on it to keep it up there. So I laid it up there quite heavy initially. Give it something to hold up with. Not worried about a bit of spillage at the moment. I've still got to do all the underside. All the bottom's got to be redone. If you have got a surface below, obviously, that you've got to keep clean, then put lots of plastic down. I have got some plastic down here over some painted wood, but most of it's all got to be re-sanded and painted, so I'm not worried. Same as the windows, I'm not worried about the windows, they're all coming out. I've just got to get this resin on and spread out, get it going, get this held up. You got to be quick, but you don't want to be too quick. You don't want to be splashing this stuff around. Definitely don't want to be getting it in your eyes. Goggles would be advisable, but sometimes you just can't see what you're doing when you're grinding and making dust and all the rest of it, and steaming up. Gloves is a must. Yeah, goggles are ideal. I mean, it's up to you. Up to you how you work, but yeah, ideally you should be using something. I'm not stupid, I know. But so you can roll this out with the roller, getting the resin on, pushed and worked into the mat. It gets most of the air out. You'll get it all wet out. Get that soaking up. That resin soaking into the cloth. Once it's wet, it will conform to the shapes a little better. And hopefully it won't keep falling down. You sort of want enough resin on there to wet it out. You don't want too much, because it will become sort of brittle. You'll get a weak layer. You know, it'll be a resin rich layer. So once you've rolled it on, you take your thin roller and you can roll out the excess resin. I want to make sure this is wet through so that the glass bonds to the other layers as it should. That's looking pretty good. Two size thin rollers. I've got a large one, which is good to get you going, and I've got a smaller one. Sometimes you'll find if the contours, if it's not completely flat, this one will touch on the sides, but you won't get any pressure in the centre of the roller. You know, you'll have a big gap there. So you're rolling it out and you can't get all the air out. So if you swap to the smaller one, it can get into smaller angles. Again, like I said, you don't want to be racing this thing over back and forth. I've got a seam here and I've got the seam there, so it didn't work from the centre out. And it's looking pretty flat from rolling it on. The main problem I'll have is this. I've got an area of hardwood here that I've had to cover and round up the edge. It doesn't always like to stick on this radius. And again, what I'll do, if I get any problems with that, I'll grind it off. I'll use some chop strand matting over this radius and redo it if I need to. I think we'll be alright, but we'll see when it's done. Hopefully you can hear me. Obviously got a mask on, can't breathe in here with this stuff. You must wear a respirator. If a paper mask's all you've got, it's better than nothing, but it's really not good enough. I wouldn't advise it. That's looking pretty good. I don't think I've got to do too much with this. So that's just squeezing out that excess resin. which is all dripping down on me plastic up here. And where I get a little excess gathering up here, that'll all be sanded anyway before I paint it. Get some gel coat up there. Roll that excess resin away. Like I say, I'll sand that off anyway. I've radiused all the corners, so I've got no square edges, so I should be able to roll the glass around. And what I want is this underside of the deck tabbed in with the sides of the boat up to the windows. Roll this out. I'm going to swap to the smaller roller and just sort this radius out. Make sure that's all nice. The same on this side. So I've got a slight radius on the boat deck this way as well, so I'm going both directions with the roller just to make sure I get the air out. When I bought this boat, I was told it's a 1977 Shetland. It's the 570. This one's got the porthole windows in the side, so I was also told it's called a Kestrel. I've done a hell of a lot of work so far. Still got a lot to do that I want to change and alter in the cabin so far, but we're getting there. It's been a bit awkward filming wise. I've not really been able to do many videos because most of it's been a lot of sanding, loads of dust, and you wouldn't see a thing. It's such a small area that I'm working in. Literally, you know, I come out of here white as a ghost. If I had the camera on, yeah, you just wouldn't see a thing. The lens would be covered in dust in seconds, so I can't really film me sanding and grinding, doing all the prep work in this small space. There's just no room. I thought I'd make a little video on the glassing up the underside of the deck. That's not bad. I'm not a professional, this is just me. Another one of my hobbies that I took on. I bought a boat, needed a load of work, and I learnt how to fiberglass, taught myself a few bits and pieces, watched a load of YouTube, learnt how to do things. I thought I'd make a few short videos, you know. I might have to start learning how to edit them down. But basically, just showing you what I'm doing on my little projects. I've got some upcoming stuff. I'm basically looking at doing more on the boat, the fiberglassing, bit of painting and stuff as I go. Also, hopefully, I'm going to make some RC car videos. I've got a few little RC cars. Looking to get another one. I've got a couple of cheapy ones, little Banggood special. I've got the Armour Felony. So I've got a couple of videos on that, looking to make a few more. And I want to get myself an X-Max as well, something for a bit more everyday use, because the Felony's fantastic little car. It's not little, but sort of limited on where you can use it really. It's so quick, it's such a big thing. Yeah, it's pretty darn fast, so very limited on where you can actually go to use the thing. But yeah, so a bit of fishing, lovely fishing, hence I bought a boat. You know, the idea was to go fishing. one day, see this corner again, I've got a couple of little bits sticking out, but I'm going to have to leave it alone to set up. We'll sand that off, and I'm going to redo the corners with a little bit of CSM. This stuff's a little bit heavy. I'm sure if I'd have cut it better I could have got it to work, but I didn't. Like I say, not a professional, this is just Joe Blogs, little old me. So yeah, so this will be going out on YouTube. Life of Dave, or Dave Life. Not totally decided yet, but basically I'm just going to be making some short videos, yeah, up to, you know, sort of 10-20 minutes, maybe a half hour, depending on what I'm doing, of me, things that I do, you know, fixing cars, engines, all sorts, RC cars, bit of fishing, bit of boats, all hopefully interesting stuff. Well, thank you world for watching, and I've got to crack on because I've got to get this done before my resin sets up, and I can't blend it all in. Right, thanks for watching guys, take care, and I'll see you all again soon.